Decentralized TradFi in the palm of your hand. Instant transactions. Now, introducing auto trading, all built on the solid layer one hyper liquid. Decentralization is sovereignty. We wanted to put up my slide, please. Decentralization is sovereignty. Thank you all very much. Now I'd like a warm welcome to Mr. Pablo to introduce more about River, the world's first fully decentralized self-sovereign bank. Because self-custody is better.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I have two microphones for. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Can I ask you guys to start the presentation, please? Okay. Before we see the first slide, I would like to just, guys, give you a short introduction to understand the fundamentals, because let's say 10 years, we are living in the world when the technology entered to our life very fast. When we keep focus on the blockchain technology, you can observe that at the beginning, when Bitcoin started this, like the journey and promotion of digital assets, different tokens, cryptocurrencies, stablecoin, everything from traditional financial and banking market started going to the blockchain. So it means that in, let's say, decentralized space. So actually, anybody can issue the tokens, anybody can issue the stable coins, of course, under some legal regime, but this is not exclusively reserved for Federal Reserve in US, for the central bank of different countries. And we could observe also development of different centralized platform where you can still transfer fiat using the bank transfers. Then you can buy cryptocurrencies, you can do the trading, but those trading was centralized. So it means that all assets was in custody of operator of the exchange. And later on, having the order book, you can do the trading. Everything was centralized. Everything at the beginning was not under very strict regime. Very often KYC was not proper, AML was not proper, and it was completely new business. Nowadays, you can see that all those crypto businesses, blockchain businesses, issuing tokens are under special regulation in different countries, but some of them, they're still centralized. What does it mean? It means that you are not holding your assets. You still, if you hold your assets in Binance, OKEx, KuCoin, or many other exchanges, you still need to trust those platforms. And as we know, for example, FTX example, there is always some risk, which means that potentially you can also lose your money and access to your money. If not lost, it can be restricted by some internal procedure, AML, KYC, etc., and you need to wait, you need to correspond with the support. Very often you don't have direct contact. And very often when you need to have access to your assets, because it belongs to you, you don't have this access. So since, let's say, a few years, decentralized finance started play a very big role. After my presentation, Gerald will show you also something what is completely revolutionary. But now I would like to keep focus on the river, and the river is banking. And what is banking? As you know, from the history, the first banks, like the first traditional banks, started 100 years ago, and even much older, issuing some certificates, let's say bonds, some special letters. people were traveling, and to avoid that they will be traveling with the, let's say, cash or with some gold, they're receiving the special letters, and this way they can do the transactions. Nowadays, still you can find in the market traditional banking, which is very strict. They are very slow. They are also expensive, and they have a lot of restrictions with documents, with onboarding, with money transferring, with cost, many other things. So you can be very often in the position that do the banking for you as an individual or for your business is hard. You need to wait sometimes weeks or months to open the bank account. And later on, when you are already onboarded, you start to have a different problems, questions. What is the transfer for what, from whom? Send me the documents, etc., etc. Many different things. When you would like to transfer the money from one country to another country, let's say from India to Europe or from the Europe to Middle East, you have to wait 1 day, 2 days. You have spread, you have extra fees, etc. It's very not comfortable situation. All of us, we know about it. But previously, without the solution which are available now on the market, it was like the standard. Sorry. Yes. Then the next, let's say, Web3 revolution, Web2 revolution was neobanking. So banks like Revolut, like Monzo, like many others in different parts of all the world were still they are centralized, but they're much smaller because they are online banking. They don't have a lot of like the fixed costs which are related to payroll, to branch, as and all this stuff which generate a lot of cost. They started be present online in internet, Web3. First, it was the web version. You can be onboarded using web version, doing your KYC process, and you can send your money, which you already have in traditional bank, to online, to neobank. And this way you can use first from the website and later, nowadays, from the app. They introduce many other features, but still this product, those features, everything banking is centralized. So still you have to transfer not only your fiat, but also crypto, and they are in their custody. What happened now in the Web3 and during the decentralization, we have a DEO banking, and the River is a DEO banking. So it means that River offer you exactly the same features, but in decentralized way. What does it mean? That you still hold your assets, you still hold your money, is under your control. You have private key to your decentralized wallet. Anytime you can transfer money, I mean the crypto, USDT, USDC, or other, let's say, coins which have enough liquidity on the market. You can withdraw also anytime. You can use them to transfer fiat to somebody all over the world. Also, if you don't have USDT, you have don't use stable coin, you can do on ramp. You can transfer fiat, you can buy, you can also sell. You have access to all the features which I mentioned before, like in neobanks, but in decentralized way. Yes, so limitations of current banking system I already presented. So inefficiency, high cost, debanking risk. Oh, this is also the problem that very often if something by the compliance department will be not approved, then you can lose your bank account. They will close your bank account, you need to take your money out, and you are, let's say, without bank, without opportunity. And very often in the businesses, traditional businesses, I don't know what is the legal frame, let's say, in India or the other countries, but in Europe, according to the law, if you will lose access to your bank account, this is the reason that you cannot continue your business. If you cannot continue your business, you have to close your business because it's the first reason based on the law that you need to do something. If you will not find any other banks, then you have a problem. And what bank can doing? Traditional banks, they have internal list, like the blacklist. If you do something wrong or something they don't accept, you are on this internal list. in the next onboarding process, you have a problem. So this is something that banking resolve because there is no need to transfer your money to any other banks. Still, money are in your hands and under your control. So definition of the river is decentralized on-chain bank. So this is also foundation banking layer for also for unbanked population. Even if somebody, let's say in some North African countries, the Morocco, where unbanking population is very high. Why? Because there is no branches. In small cities, they need to travel to capital city. They need to prepare a lot of documents. They need to spend days to be onboarded. Having the bank, which is fully decentralized, and you need only your mobile app, is that's all, and you can be fully banked. We have a we have a four pillars in a banking. The most important. First is the custody. So the traditional approach is that bank hold your custody. Neobank, Revolut also hold your custody, hold your money, and they can put some restriction to your money. In our approach in banking is self-custody. You keep your money, you keep your stable coins like keeping the cash in your pocket. At the same time, you have access to all the banking features and services. Second important thing, which is also well known from traditional banking, is deposit and withdrawals. You need to have access to easy transfer money, and anytime you need, you can those money withdraw. You can withdraw using the ATM machine. You can withdraw doing the transfer, this is the third point, like the remittance to send to somebody else or to your own bank account somewhere else. But this is without third party. Nobody's managing those transactions because it's everything on chain. So you transfer from your wallet directly to your friend's wallet, to your family wallet. And if they will be banked in the river, having the payment card, they can also spend those money without doing the swap and conversion from crypto to fiat. Remittances, as I said before at the beginning, is very slow, is very costly. I don't know, but you can compare the cost if you would like to send, I don't know, cash, because being the self custody is like having the cash. It's under your control. If you would like to transfer cash from, let's say, Poland to India, you have to go to Western Union. If I have a Polish zloty, I need to convert to probably dollars because there will be no international rupee. So I have to pay fee, I have to pay spread, because also this conversion rate will be not, optimized for me, but for the operator. You need to transfer and somebody can receive the cash or receive the bank transfer in India. It's costly and also take a time. Doing the remittances in on-chain, it's very easy. It takes maximum minutes, few minutes, maybe 1 minute, sometimes 50, 30 seconds. And what is more important, you can observe all the transaction on chain, on the blockchain. You will see confirmation. You see when it was that it was delivered. You can check address. Everything is public. Of course, you need to know how to check it on the scanner. But we are like the crypto community, so so this is quite easy. The fourth element, which is also important, is like the passive income. If you have much more money than you like to spend, usually you can put some deposit to the bank. And bank offer you very small percentage annually, few percent. Bank who is centralized is also supervised. They have a special policy to invest those money. They have a credit committee, they have an investment committee, and they take your money and offer the loans or other investment credits or consumer credits to the customers. And the difference between a cost the customer need to pay to the bank and what bank should pay you, this is the margin. So usually you don't have too much money, but this is low yield savings. But if you have on-chain wallet and you have US dollars, which are stable coins, you can use a lot of DeFi features, they offer you passive income. Like for example, Aave. Aave have a one very interesting solution. They offer flash loan. Flash loan is like the very cheap access to money where you would like to do the fast transaction in DeFi space, but loan has to be paid in the same block. So if you know Ethereum, they have uh, in each 12 seconds one block, so it's 5 seconds per minute. So try to imagine if you will put your money to this liquidity pool in Aave, how many transaction it's done, per minute, per block. So this way you can have much better yield than anything what is already on the market available and offering the banks. Of course, somebody asks, okay, but where is the security? There is always some risk. Of course, risk is on your side, not on your side. Risk is on the provider. But usually, those huge services, which are already well known and are certified, they have a lot of people who try to protect, and everything is a smart contract. So everything is also visible is on a chain. So there is no risk that somebody will take those money and will run away. For example, if Flash Loan is offering to you and you will start a transaction, but let's say suddenly some internet connection happened, we had the problem, transaction was finalized, you as a customer, you paid for this loan, but because transaction not finalized, loan is automatically repaid to Aave. So this way also your money are always safe. And this is one of the examples because there are many features when you can use and you can have this passive income. So this shift from the traditional third party role for the traditional banks now is went to directly to the crypto space and cryptography, smart contracts. This is the way how the money are managed, how the flow, the confirmation for transfers, receiving, sending, everything is on chain, and there is no need to have third party. Of course, some of you guys they can say, okay, this is like the approach of let's say crypto geek or IT geek guys. But if you are saying that the market leaders in investment banking, like JP Morgan and Goldman, they decided to enter into this market in crypto space, in crypto, I mean the blockchain space, they are talking about the tokenization of the assets. They have separate traders which are involved in this trading. They have a special liquidity pool, like the business liquidity pool, not like liquidity pool which is internal in the Binance or internal in the OKEx, their order book, but they're connected to the global space and they can do whatever they want. Why? Because still those restrictions are not so high like in traditional market. So having very good and experience and but at the same time knowing the limitation, they can do much more in this crypto space than in the traditional market. And it was one example when there was the interview with the CEO of JP Morgan, and he said that no, we will not go into crypto. We don't believe in this. This is something which is not in our space. At the same time, traders in JP Morgan they started to do the trades, but it was not treated as the internal, trading, nothing, and then the impact to the price, the market, because it's not very well regulated still. But what it means that those guys, they understand how to do the business. And if you try to check any other global economical and financial crisis, they always are doing the business. So they know what they're talking about and why they're already there. So self-custody, what is self-custody matters because you have, once more, this is very important, a full access to your assets. You can find actually on the market some other products, some other projects which offer you also crypto card payment, transfers, transaction remittances, but still they are centralized. They are still centralized. And I can give you one example. I use one of them. I was traveling and I needed to pay some higher bill that I expected. So what I did, I transferred from my decentralized wallet to my wallet in this provider, where this crypto card was connected. I transferred $600. I saw on a blockchain that it was delivered. I received the confirmation, but I couldn't see it on my wallet on the app. So I contacted with the support guys, and I asked them, okay, guys, I can. This is the hash. I received a confirmation. Money already there. I cannot see it, and they told me that based on the term and condition, they have 24 hours to give me access to my money which I sent. So of course, I sent in some complaints. I said this is the joke, this is the blockchain, this is the reason that we are using blockchain and this type of products to do all transaction fast. If I would like to transfer dollars and have access after 24 hours, I can do it using the bank. So of course, after some conversation on the chat in this app, they show me my money, but this is one of the examples how they can play with you. Just keeping and holding your money and generate extra profit because you will receive this access to your money tomorrow. With self-custody, it's not like this. Always, this is your wallet. If you will transfer to any other wallets, to your wife wallet, in the same platform, in the river, she has access immediately. If I will send you to river from my wallet, can be, let's say, even from the Binance, you will receive your money automatically. Of course, depending of the network and of the moment of the day, because sometimes we have a lot of transactions, but we are talking about the maximum minutes or some seconds, not hours. Also, censorship resistance. So there is no need for approval of any third party to do the transactions. I try to transfer US dollars from Poland to UAE, and my transfer were blocked. And they asked, and it was not too much, and they asked, what is the reason? Who is the beneficiary? I needed to submit all the documents, everything. Of course, I did it, and I was waiting 2 days for answer because you cannot contact directly and talk to the compliance guy. You can just talk to the support, but the support had no impact and any influence to the compliance department. So here, there is no censorship. You can send, you can receive, and nobody will ask you who sent you, to whom you sent, etc. Nothing. Everything is on chain and belongs. All the decision belongs to you. And transparency, what I said before, because you can see on a blockchain, on a public scanner, all information about the transaction. Uh, this seamless deposit and withdrawal. So this is what I already said, that if you don't have access to you onboarded yourself or somebody from your family, you would like to have USDT, but you don't have. So you can just transfer from existing bank account fiat. You can do on ramp, I mean the swap to crypto, to USDT, to USDC, and you are already there. If you need fiat and you have USDT or somebody send you USDT or you issue the invoice in USDT, USDC, you can also do the op-ramp and you can do bank transfer. For example, without having bank account, just having USDT or USDC, you can transfer to me Polish zloty, UAE dirhams, Indian rupee, whatever I want, because River will cover almost all of the world. Of course, despite the sanctioned countries, this is something which is obvious. So for sure, not Yemen, not Korea, not Iran, but but it's like the general rule. So I think that nobody would like to be visible, and even if you'd like to try to send, their bank inside, let's say Iran or Yemen, they will be not able to take the transfer from you. And stablecoin integration, so it means that always you are not visible even from the bank. Why? Because all your crypto assets belongs to you, and you and your wallet is anonymous. Nobody knows. It will show you on the scanner wallet address. You can check the history on this wallet. When was the first transaction? When was the first in, first out? To which addresses? How much, etc. You can see everything, but nobody knows to whom belongs this address. Of course, you can find some addresses which you can see the Binance Spot Wallet, but those huge addresses, they belong to the exchanges. So this is also the reason that they was named. But for you as an individual, there is no, you are fully anonymous. Visa card, this is something that allow you to spend your money, but especially spend your crypto money. So without sending your money to any OTC provider to receive the fiat, or doing onboarding Binance, transfer your crypto to Binance, swapping in Binance, or via P2P, or via order book to fiat, and then transfer to bank, it also takes the time and cost you provision, transfer, everything. You can directly spend your crypto like fiat. Having USDT, you can be in Philippines, like in Manila, you can go to the shop, you can go to restaurant, and you can just spend, tap it, and you are also non-visible. Nobody knows from the bank, your bank, let's say in India or in Dubai or in Poland, that you are in Manila, that you pay for something in restaurant and how much you spend. Why? Because Visa, this is the crypto card, our provider is from US, so it means that, of course, US, they collect information from all banks all over the world. Anybody who is the principal member and can offer use the Visa or MasterCard, let's say particularly from Poland, those information are collected in Poland. At the same time, they're sharing to US. If you will do in US will share with nobody. They will just keep all the information for them. So this is also one of the advantage if you compare to traditional banking card. And also, this remittances, much faster. We are talking about the instant transfer. Sometimes, let's say, 24 hours, depending of the currency, on the momentum you would like to transfer, and depends also of the provider, because different countries, they have different internal providers, which we are connected. So this way, sometimes something will be a little bit more expensive, but will be instant. Something will be a little bit less expensive, but you have to wait, let's say, few hours or 6 hours, depends, the moment of the day when you will decide to do the transfer. Also transparency, because everything is visible on the chain, when your money was deducted, when it was delivered, everything is there. And no borderless statement. So it means that settlement. So it means that everything is on chain, online, and instant. Not settlement, not third party, not correspondent banks, etc., etc. Like the process which is required now in traditional banking. Reduce overheads. This is already what you can find with, as I said, about these neobanks. They reduce overheads, they reduce fixed costs related to the keeping the branches, opening the offices, etc., etc. But with the on-chain banking and decentralized banking, this is even much more effective, because some of the people which are now still working in, let's say, in Revolut, here are completely replaced by the technology. So it's the same. You can compare this revolution like to AI. In the past, you have in support or in the call center, hundreds or thousands of people who was doing the calls, sending answers, etc. Nowadays, you have AI agents. They are programmed, they will train in the proper way, and they can do like the hundred of calls and answers, the same moment. So this is efficiency. Yield generation access DeFi. So this is something what you can find on the market. 5, 10%, sometimes 15, depends on the project, of the momentum, etc. But generally, it offers you much more than in traditional finance ways. So this is of course, in traditional market, if something is less risky, you have much less money. If something is take a high risk, you can expect higher percent. But here in DeFi space, anytime you can deposit, anytime you can take your money back. If you will invest, let's say, in the bonds, you have to wait for maturity, or you can sell it on the secondary market. But always, doing this fire sales because you would like to receive your money very fast, you need to pay extra discount. In DeFi space, it's much easier. You can deposit, you can withdraw. At the moment, you will stop having this, passive income yield generation. So staking, liquidity provision, yield farming, this all those elements is the part of decentralized finance, when you can find those extra profit on the amount you have as a surplus on your wallet, which you not spend. So if you are not spending, but still you hold your money, those money doesn't generate any extra profit for you. So this is the reason that it always having the access to those products is very easy. And River offer you, there is no need from your side to go online, to do your own research, to even use AI to analyze anything, later trying to learn how to use it, because in app, we will offer you everything, like the one-stop shop. Okay, now also to understand where are the potential risks, because always there is no business without risk. Some people are saying that U.S. bonds, there are no risk financial product, but to be honest, it's a risk. It's a risk. They print a lot of money, so there's the huge inflation, and nobody knows it will be repaid or not. But even if will be the interest they are paying is smaller and smaller. So smart contract risk is always something which is based on the technology. To avoid this risk, you have a special independent company who doing the certification of the smart contract, who are doing the penetration test. Those smart contracts are not on River shoulders, they are on the shoulders of the super professional provider of liquidity pools, of like for Aave and for other providers, where we are integrated to have access to those products. Market volatility, of course, but it's not related to the stablecoin, because usually stablecoin is one-to-one. Of course, if you would like to use some other, like for payment, Ethereum or Bitcoin, usually nobody uses the Bitcoin for as the method of the payment. But generally, if you would like to use those assets, is always the risk of the price, because Bitcoin is 72, tomorrow will be 82, and you will be angry that you use those Bitcoin for payment for this coffee today. But if we'll go drop down to 55, then you will be happy because you have some savings. So avoid this risk. Using the stable coins as the US dollars is like the best solution, and this risk you can avoid. Compliance. So of course, we need some very fundamental compliance elements. So the KYC will be needed, but it will be very easy. So it will be like the passport, your selfie, and address, but not as a proof of address, but your declaration. We need to know your address, because for the visa settlement and for the visa reporting of your transaction, we need to have this address. So this is something which is very fundamental, but without very sophisticated and detailed question about you, about your job, about your family, about your spending, all this stuff, because this, of course, is too much. We are not doing the investigation. River, we just need to collect the fundamental information which are needed to onboard you and give you the access to banking and to card payment. Of course, this Office of Foreign Assets Control. This is the office inside the U.S. Treasury, who trying to monitoring and control all the money transfers, sanction list, to avoid doing the transaction with the people who are on the sanction list, etc., etc., etc. So this is something in US, and but to be honest, it's you have to fulfill all these requirements all over the world. So this is the reason that you have this sanction list, and in each bank, any country all over the world, there is a sanction list, and there is a stated in which country you and the bank cannot have any business relation. Sometimes some people they are putting on the sanction list. Of course, after this, when the war started in Ukraine, many of these Russian oligarchs started to be on the sanction list. So this was one of the elements as example that these requirements we need to also fulfill. But this is like the something which is like the extraordinary. And it's not related, let's say, to us. Or I hope that in the future also will be not. So the technology, this is something which is at the fundament of geobanking. You have a blockchain, this technology we understand. I already presented you guys how the blockchain, how the Bitcoin proved that technology is secure, is good, and can be used in many other areas. Nowadays in the stock market, nowadays, let's say even in notary act, in art, as a certification, NFTs, all this stuff. So blockchain proved it. And blockchain is like the fundament of this business. Smart contract will help you to do the automatization of the processes. You don't need people, you don't need third party, you don't need human who will accept, who will check everything, because everything will be done by smart contract. And AI integration, because, with AI, your generation will be better for you because on a daily basis, on the online basis, they will be checking the best solution, the best offer, how and where you should invest now or tomorrow. Everything it will be helpful for you to also avoid wasting the time from your side that you have to collect the information, do the analysis, and later updating every time. So also, in my opinion, in the future, all these analytics, this job is under huge risk because having the proper prompt and connected to the proper sources, everything will be generating for you just for free, much faster and much better. How to start with the river? It will be very easy. We are waiting. App is ready. App is already uploaded to Google Play and the Apple Store. I believe that at time we can expect that it will be launched. I checked before. I was checking, so it's not yet, but maybe it will be tonight, maybe tomorrow. So I think this is just the hours or days when it will be available. So it's you have to just the download application, do the verification, very easy, very fast, completely seamless. You have to fund. You can do transfer some deposit in crypto or in a bank, choosing the country, choosing the currency, and you can do your own transfer just to check, or you can ask your friends to send you, and then just spend money, earn money, and have a fun and be also independent. Then you can feel this, let's say, financial freedom and banking freedom. So this is something that in the future, this DeFi space, AI space will create. So how River you can compare with the other players versus traditional finance is faster, is cheaper, and first of all, this is not your custody. You are your self custody way to keep and protect your money and control your money. Versus neobanks, we are not custodial. And also, if you compare with some other crypto cards, which are also centralized. So this product, this River card and River wallet is completely decentralized. And with the pure the decentralized finance, you need to have also ability of trying to find good products, good services. You have to spend many hours of analyzing, trying to find something, start to use it, train yourself, etc., etc. In River, everything will be one-stop shop. Everything will be available in your application, including card. This is the roadmap, so everything is already done. The plan was to have this phase number 3 to finish in April. Everything was finally done, integrated, checked after the test. Now we uploaded everything to Google Play and Apple Store, as I said before, and we are waiting to be live anytime. So Regarding the global coverage, I already said, so, almost all countries all over the world, different currencies, different providers, sometimes two or three in particular country, depending of the country. So it will be full flexibility and full access to instant transfer. So thank you very much, guys. If you have any questions, if you have any questions, something is not clear for you, or you have some, let's say, experience you would like to share with us, or maybe bad experience you would like to also share with us, and ask about the let's say our solution and how to compare to your track record. This is the best moment now. Yes, please. Okay, I give you. I think this can be tonight. Maybe it will be tomorrow morning. I'm trying all any time when I was sitting here. I was also checking. Everything was uploaded. What this one problem with those with Google Play and Apple Store, when you will sign the contract with them, everything, and you would like to upload the app, it depends on the time of the app, the type of the app. If this is something which is related to banking and finance, and this is related to banking and finance, it's not like the gaming. They usually need more time to secure and check everything, to avoid any problems, because always these banking financial elements are the most critical for them. If somebody will issue and publish the game, and later after, I don't know, level 3, you have some problems, you can direct have the dispute with the developer. But if something will happen in the financial world, they will not only inform the developer, but also Apple Store, Google Play, authorities, etc., etc. So it generates much more, problems also for them. So this is the reason that usually they need more time. So this is the one of the main critical, element why we have to wait. But it can be, anytime, like now maybe. Yes, please. Yeah, yes, yes. As soon as it will be done, you onboarding will take, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, and you can enjoy it. Every be live. Yes. Yes.
I open an account with Telegram and sign in and the private key. I keep my private key. And the fund I transfer from.
On, te- on Telegram wallet, you mean Telegram wallet, or
No, no, I'm talking about the MTX.
no? MTX is after. This is River. MTX is
This is
this is River. This is the banking application.
okay.
Dio
I'm
banking
talking
application.
about only.
No. Yes, yes.
Okay, the MTX is the different.
Yes, MTX is the trading facility. Yes, trading products. You will have a presentation after me.
Okay,
Gerald will present you.
okay. I'm talking about the MTX.
Okay. But any other question, guys, to River? Thank you very much for your attention. I will be available also after the presentation, during the break. So if you have somebody have any question but is shy to ask now, you can ask me later. Thank you.
And with that, let's give another round of applause for Dr. Powell. Thank you very much for that insightful discussion. And we're so sorry that we weren't able to give you a proper introduction, so allow me to do it at this point. So, ladies and gentlemen, our previous speaker who have talked about River Finance and gave us a very insightful discussion about River, and also gave us a very interactive question and answer as well. So allow me to introduce him. Dr. Powell Sopko is an investor and a former CEO of BitBay. Actually, that's zondacrypto.com, a leading crypto fiat trading platform 2014 to 2020. He co-founded BB Pay, a crypto payments service provider, and Innovo Venture Fund. one of Poland's most successful venture funds. He serves as investment director at Hawksburg Investment Limited and holds leadership roles at an investment fund in UAE and Europe. With extensive experience in restructuring M&As and IPOs on the Warsaw Stock Exchange, Dr. Sobko has also been a board and supervisory board member for numerous public companies. Additionally, he has contributed to academic and scientific research in finance, M&A, and investment. Ladies and gentlemen, can we all give another round of applause? Can we all stand and give him a powerful round of applause? Thank you very much. Dr. Powell, everybody, let's all stand. A thunderous applause to our previous speaker. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge and expertise with all of us this afternoon. We may now be seated. Thank you very much, everyone. And what's coming up next is a very powerful session. But we'll pause for a while. We'll give you 10 minutes to enjoy our afternoon snacks. So please feel free to get some snacks on the side. And we'll be back after 10 minutes. So right now on my watch, it's 5:50. So at exactly 6 o'clock p.m., we'll be back for the next session, and we will be talking about MTX. And of course, this is what you're all here for. And we're so excited for what's coming up next because we will be having Gerald as one of our speaker or the last speaker for today. So you may now stand to your feet and start getting your snacks, be back to your chairs, and also reminding you guys that we'll start at exactly 6 o'clock p.m. A 10-minute break starts now.